On the plant objectives, you should know that plants are photoautotrophs. They obtain their energy from sunlight, and they are able to fix carbon from inorganic carbon dioxide into biomolecules, which makes them important since now other organisms such as animals can get both their energy and organic carbon from plants. I'll give you a blank space where you can draw a cladogram depicting the evolution of the plant groups and then give the traits which evolve at each point. And so in this cladogram, the algae should be the outgroup. The mosses and liverworts, they're the most primitive group, so the next branch. And prior to their splitting from the other groups, then plants adapted to land with a cuticle, stomata, and other characteristics. The next branch would be things like horsetails and whisk ferns, and vascular tissue is the trait which evolved in their ancestors prior to this branch point. Ferns would be the next branch point, and prior to this, the new trait of leaves had evolved. And then gymnosperms would be the next branch. Prior to this branch point, the trait of seeds had evolved. And then finally, before the final lineages of angiosperms, the trait of flowers had evolved. So I'll expect that you could replicate the cladogram that is given in the videos. You should be able to match the groups of plants to the traits that they possess. And so therefore all of the land plants would possess a cuticle. All of the land plants except for mosses and liverworts possess vascular tissue, etc. You should know that flowering plants were the last group of plants to evolve, but the most common plants alive today. You should be able to distinguish between monocots and dicots in the number of seed leaves or cotyledons that are present at germination, common examples. And so monocots would be grasses and irises, for example, while dicots would represent most plants and most trees in our area. Dicots can possess a ring of meristem tissue, allowing the stems to grow wider. We talked about different pollinator syndromes, and you should be able to match flower structure to a likely pollinator. So, for example, bees prefer blue flowers with UV guidelines, while butterflies might prefer red tubular flowers, etc. There was an activity which asked you, after watching a video, to give variations in plant stems, which could be, some are more tree-like, some have vine-like stems, some have thorns and trichomes, and also a variation in leaves, which, as you know, could be simple or compound, alternate or opposite. Some leaves are carnivorous, where they actually trap insects, such as in Venus flytraps or pitcher plants. This allows the plant to get extra nitrogen and other nutrient sources by digesting the insect. Some plants possess root nodules, such as legumes, and here they host symbiotic bacteria which are fixing nitrogen. I could ask you a few questions on fungi, such as the features of fungi. So they have chitin in their cell walls and are chemoheterotrophs, for example. Recognize that many are decomposers, which help recycle nutrients through food chains, but some are even capable of being predators and being able to form traps for nematode worms, as was depicted in the video. There are a number of terms that you could match to their definitions. So, for example, the microscopic strands which compose hyphae, fungi are known as hyphae. Masses of these hyphae are known as mycelia. The dikaryon state is that state in which two haploid nuclei exist in the same cell but do not fuse. This is present in the higher fungi, etc. So you should be able to match those terms to their definitions. And then also describe two symbioses involving fungi. and there are fungal symbioses where fungi extend from plant roots and help gather water and nutrients. These are known as mycorrhizae. There are fungal symbioses where fungi help cows digest grass and other cellulose materials in their guts. Fungi plus algae exist in a symbiotic relation forming lichens, etc.